Wow, this is a good one here. So I have it written down in my notes. It says, when someone starts questioning things that happened to you that they weren't there for, they are assuming that you are inherently false and therefore lesser to them because of your testimony about the events. So what I mean by this is they won't believe you because you said it. So like, let's say something happens to them, right? Let's say, I don't know, let's say that they fell in the creek, right? And they got wet. And when they tell you they got wet, even though there's not a lick of water on them, you're just like, yeah, okay, like I believe you, right? Because like, why would you lie about that, right? That seems so, that seems so silly. But yet, let's say you fell in the creek and you were wet and then it dried and then they're fighting you over your own fucking story. Like, you know what happened to you. And yet they're like, no, that didn't happen. They never really cared about truth in the first place, right? They were never looking for truth to begin with because they always assumed that you were lying. They have no trust in others. And that's sort of my whole point here. You can see it specifically with people who do not believe the biblical accounts. And I find this to be fascinating because they can't trust in anybody other than themselves. I mean, they literally can't, like, they're going to believe science just because it's replicable, right? That's literally the only reason why they're going to believe it. So even if something did happen, like let's say gravity got turned off right now and everybody flew up for 5 seconds, or only one person did, like one person starts floating off the ground for 5 minutes, right? And then they land back down and you tell somebody that, they're never going to believe you, right? Even if it really did happen, they don't have truth in their heart. Like, I know this is sort of a catch-22 because you could also have somebody who's like openly lying to you about these things. But if somebody's heart posture is to tell the truth, then why the fuck would they be lying to you, right? Like, I know if my friend told me that something happened like that to him, I'd believe him. I would believe him because nothing would fucking surprise me anymore, man. Nothing would surprise me. I mean, dude, literally, we're sitting around the fire the other day and, I was talking about that guy who's starting to believe, and I was telling him, I was like, dude, listen, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, man, you could move mountains, but it's not of your own work, it's of the Father, right? And he's like, he's getting gassed out by the campfire, right? And I'm like, yeah, just try it, see what happens, do a little prayer, dude. And fucking like, I don't even believe in luck anymore, man, because he does this thing and the smoke stays away from him for the rest of the fucking night, right? And I know that sounds like strange or it's like, oh, that's just luck, but dude, I don't believe in that shit anymore. I don't. I used to, but it's always just so coincidental, man. It's just too, like, my pattern recognition skills are just too on point. I don't mean to gas myself up sometimes, but seriously, like, when I recognize something, I'm like, oh yeah, these two things, even though they may seem like they're unconnected, are definitely connected. They are absolutely connected in some way, some form. I don't necessarily maybe feel it in my gut, but I'll be like, yeah, like the fact that this has the same properties as this, even though like a piece of cake and a stone, now obviously I don't know the correlation between the two right now off the top of my head, but like under some crazy circumstance, they are connected. Now, yes, of course, if you just draw a line between anything, it will in some way be connected by something, right? Like you have people that do that for like Rapture watchers. They'll just start connecting shit that has nothing to do with anything. And they'll be like, okay, it's definitely on March 30th or whatever. It's like, no, they're just coming up with shit. But I mean, like, you see it in, I did the video about light, right? How light works. Like, it's just almost too coincidental that the way that water, the way that air, and the way that the firmament, which is also a liquid, are all different types of some liquid, in a sense. They all have the same properties, right? Like, things like that are like, that's rather interesting, don't you say? So, yeah, I'll try to get back on point here. These people just cannot believe your account, even if it doesn't, or even if it did happen, excuse me. They can't, which is why they can't believe in the Bible, right? And like I said, even if, gravity did get turned off for a minute and it was like recorded in some way, right? If it was written down that it happened and it was unreplicable. They couldn't do it again for some strange reason. It's literally an act of God. Nobody would believe them. And it's not even a thing. Like, if somebody told me that happened and they were like dead set on it, I'd be like, yeah, dude, I fucking believe you. But these people just cannot, they literally are like, if I don't see it, it didn't happen. And if it wasn't recorded, it didn't happen. Because they have no trust in others. Now, granted, yes, trusting in others can be a little bit of a folly because we're fallen creatures. But what I'm saying here is that, like, if somebody is like telling the truth, like, what inkling do they have to lie? I mean, seriously, right? I mean, let's just think about it for a second. So hopefully this is making some sense here. And it's just, I just hate the whole thing of like, if it didn't happen to them, it didn't happen. Because, dude, like, the OG Christians were dying. They were fucking dying for it. Like, the 12 disciples. Or the 11, right? 10 of them died by horrible, right? Because John lived, obviously. Now, granted, yes, Judas did die by horrible means, right? He hung himself. What I'm saying here is these guys were professing their faith until death. Like, who does that? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Like, they were professing what they saw as they were being murdered, executed, whatever. So, sometimes you just got to believe somebody, right? Like, I'm trusting when I go to work, and I'm talking the old place I work. I'm not talking the place here because it's just me here realistically. But when I go to the old place that I work and fucking the guy that's there is telling me what the weather is today, I'm not going to like fucking check him. I'm like, yeah, I believe you. I'm like taking him at his word, because what is he going to gain from lying to me? Right? What is he going to gain? It's not even for his gain. It's just, he's just saying the truth. So that was one thing that really bothers me, or that is one thing that really bothers me about a lot of people today, is that like you can tell them shit that is real, like really happen, and they're just so against it. They're so against it. I mean, even like I said, you fall into a river and you have no stains on you, nothing's wet, everything's dried by now. There's not even like a film of the lake or the film of the creek, on you. You know what I'm talking about? Like, there's like a bacteria film that sometimes you get when it's like a little dirtier, and they'll just never believe you. They'll just never believe you. It's so crazy. It's so crazy because like I said, if you're not asking for a change of clothes or something and you're like, yeah, this happened to me, like, and you're not looking for anything, you're not looking for sympathy, you're not looking for whatever, maybe you're looking for understanding and truth, but you're not looking to like guilt them into something or pull something or extract something from one of them. They are just so blindsided by that. They cannot understand that. So yeah, I think I've talked long enough on this. I don't mean to always ramble, but it just is what it is. It's all connected, man. It's all connected. So I'll be seeing you.